It has been called the world's greatest half-mile of river. Gliding along the tranquil waters of the River Cam in Cambridge offers a unique perspective on this historic university city, propelled by a skilled punter wielding a long pole. Punting has been a beloved pastime in Cambridge, England for over a century, providing an unparalleled view of the famous college buildings, gardens, and river, with many interesting sights along the way. You ride in a small boat past centuries-old colleges, picturesque bridges, and lush gardens immersed in the rich history, natural beauty, and architectural splendor of one of England's most prestigious academic institutions. Punts are flat-bottom boats powered by pushing a long pole against the riverbed. They don't row it, they just push on that pole. The person in charge of driving the boat, called the punter, is often a student at the University of Cambridge, and they provide some descriptions as the boat moves along. Founded in the year 1209, the University of Cambridge is one of the oldest and most prestigious universities in the world. It has played a central role in the city's development and reputation. More than just a popular leisure activity, punting provides a journey through the heart of Cambridge's historic architecture, and it attracts a diverse mix of participants, tourists, students, and locals. Everybody enjoys this boat ride. Some people have a little extra fun with stand-up juggling. In addition to riding in the boat, there are some pleasant walkways along the riverbanks that provide lovely views looking out across the river, looking at the boats going by, the historic bridges, manicured gardens, and parks teeming with natural beauty and wildlife, including geese, swans, and ducks. Such waterfowl are common sights along the river. You might even spot a heron fishing in quieter spots. One of the unique aspects is the sight of cows grazing on the grass. This rural touch in the middle of a university town is a quirky and charming feature of Cambridge life. These tranquil spaces are a major highlight of the punting experience. The River Cam stretches for about 70 kilometers, but the main section for punting is just 1 kilometer long. We can see on the map Cambridge Town Center, and just next to it, the punting stretch of the River Cam. It's a 45-minute round trip, which you could begin at the north or south end. Cambridge is located in the region of East Anglia in the southeast of England. The Mill Pond is a picturesque boat basin at the southern end of the River Cam, with a number of different companies offering rides and pubs and restaurants around, and a grass lawn that's very popular for picnicking. You'll see more of that later, but we're starting our ride at the north end, beginning at Magdalen Bridge with the Scudamore's Punting Company. Founded here in 1910 at the Cambridge Quayside dock. Punting on the river is one of those great experiences. You've just got to do it when you come to Cambridge. Heading south, the first major site we come to is the Bridge of Sighs, one of the town's most famous landmarks. A neo-Gothic structure built in 1831 that connects two parts of St. John's College. In Venice, that original bridge got its name because prisoners sighed as they walked through it from the palace to the prison. Here they say students sigh because they're on their way to an exam. There's also a Bridge of Sighs at Oxford, crossing a street. But don't you think this bridge at Cambridge is the most beautiful of all? It is spectacular. The next crossing is the Kitchen Bridge, also known as the Wren Bridge, after the famous Christopher Wren, who designed it. Built from 1709, it's the second oldest to cross the river. Named Kitchen because St. John's College dining hall was on the other side of the river. It might seem a touristic thing, and yes, it is, but locals are out here punting around as well. They all love to frolic in their boats. Sometimes they need a tow. Maybe they ran into some difficulty with that big pole, or they're just playing around. We've now arrived at Trinity College with a view of the famous Wren Library, designed in the 17th century by England's great architect Christopher Wren. and it's been open to visitors ever since 1695. 2 stories high, it's part of Neville's Court, one of the large quadrangles of Trinity, which can be entered through that archway. The magical lighting of early evening is making these honey-colored buildings look even more golden. This was the company's last departure of the day and worked out perfectly with this lighting. If you could arrange that in your scheduled visit, it's highly recommended. Next, we arrive at Garrett Hostel Bridge for pedestrians and bicycles connecting the 2 sides of Garrett Hostel Lane. Coming up next is Clare College and Clare Bridge, which is the oldest bridge on the river, built in 1640. And it's peculiar because one of those stone balls on the bridge has a chunk missing because the architect felt that he was underpaid, according to one legend. Clare is the second oldest college at Cambridge, founded in 1338, and it's got 500 undergraduates, 300 graduate students, and 100 fellows, with the Master's Garden in front on this beautiful riverside location. Next to Clare is King's College, which has what is widely considered the most spectacular building in all of Cambridge. It's the King's College Chapel. This is one of the most breathtaking examples of late Gothic architecture in England, built between 1446 and 1515. The most distinctive feature is the world's largest fan-vaulted ceiling, 80 meters long. During the day you pay to enter, but if you arrive at 5 p.m. you'll get in free and have a musical concert at evensong. Then you can walk through the campus enjoying the sight of these magnificent buildings. They have intentionally let the meadow in the back grow naturally with these colorful wildflowers. That brings us back to the riverbank and the punting. If you're not in a boat, you can walk along these beautiful paths and over the bridge and through the park. There's a connected pathway that will bring you all the way down to the other side of town. These gardens and pathways along the river behind the Cambridge colleges are called the backs, as in the back of those grandiose university facades, with a great view of the punts going by and the tranquil green spaces. We're back on the punt now, continuing our boat ride, gliding along past King's College, a favorite place for students to hang out and relax. The building with triangular pediment was designed in the early 1700s by James Gibbs, also famous for designing St. Martin in the Fields Church in London. Another group of local students punting along, and you'll notice that, sometimes the boats collide a little bit, all in good fun, no damage. Students enjoy watching the river activities as much as the tourists do. Perhaps they live in this dormitory at Bodley's Court, part of King's College. Built in the late 19th century, reflecting the Victorian enthusiasm for the Gothic revival style of architecture. Passing a modern dormitory building along Queen's College, coming up on its mathematical bridge, famous because it seems to be a curved structure, but it's made out of straight boards. Passing under the Silver Street Bridge, a modern structure for people and automobiles, brings us into the Mill Pond. That marks the turnaround point of our boating route, so our hard-working punter is halfway done with this assignment. Here the boat turns around, everybody stays on board, and you go back the same way you came to where you started. On the other hand, you could begin your boat ride here with that same company or a choice of several other companies. It's a busy boat basin. I was here on a different day and had a good chance to walk around and take some pictures, go into the pub, take a look at the park, and enjoy all of this waterfront activity. It's a fascinating place. We'll take a walk in that picnic park area in a minute as we walk around and have a look at some of the unusual boating activities, including some paddle boards. It's not just the punts on the river. And boating is not the only activity here, with all of these pubs around it, especially the Anchor, first opened in 1864 with beautiful views over the River Cam. Along with a few other pubs and restaurants, this is part of the reason why Mill Pond is among the most popular outdoor gathering places for locals. Looking out across the riverside offers an endless variety of interesting entertainment, including the occasional jugglers who come by, which requires hand-eye coordination, timing, rhythm, focus, and concentration while maintaining your balance standing in a wobbly boat. Just doing it for fun and maybe to show off a little bit. Here you can see some of the water power that was used in the old days to power the mills that were located here, which is why they call it Mill Pond, primarily for grinding grain to make flour for bread. Now the main activity is just having fun, punting and drinking, socializing and picnicking and enjoying the park. Crossing that little footbridge brings us into Laundress Green, a picturesque space located next to the pond. It's a popular gathering place for picnics and just sitting on the grass talking with your friends. It's called Laundress Green because in the old days this is where laundry was spread out to dry. It's a good place to sit and watch the punters go by. You'll see all kinds of skill levels out there on the river. Some of them are local students and the occasional tourist who's trying to figure out how that pole works. Most visitors take an organized tour with a pro who knows how to do it, but anybody can rent their own as a self-hire right here at the dock. The river can get pretty busy depending on when you're here. Of course, summer on a weekend, midday is always going to be the most crowded. I was here in early June, and this was late on a Sunday afternoon, when it was just busy enough to be interesting and yet not congested. One disadvantage of early June is that most of the colleges were closed to the public so students could prepare for their exams. Maybe come in early spring or the fall, and summers can be quite mild in England. After all that walking around and looking at the pub, let's take a walk inside and get a pint. And then you need to find a place to sit, which can be at a premium on a busy Sunday afternoon. Or in that old pub tradition, just stand. They serve a variety of drinks and classic pub food, including fish and chips, burgers, and seasonal dishes. The Silver Street Bridge crossing the river here is a very busy road with buses, cars, bicycles, and pedestrians. From there you have a nice view of the mathematical bridge that we saw earlier from the punt. Notice the little rope tied to this fellow floating along. He's being towed by his friend, getting a free ride. And there's our juggler again, still going strong. The mathematical bridge connects the two sides of Queen's College. The bridge was designed in 1748. And it's been renovated and rebuilt a few times, most recently in 1905. The riverside building of Queen's College is the oldest building on the river, built around 1460. Back on Silver Bridge, I ran into a couple of friendly young families who asked me to take their picture with their camera. Then we had a little chat. How do you like Cambridge?
Yeah, it's great, yeah. Yeah, I really like it, yeah. It's a lovely town.
The bar, the pubs?
Yeah, the pubs, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
From here you could exit Mill Pond along Laundress Lane, then take a 600-meter walk back into the center of town. But we are resuming the punt ride, returning back along the same route that we came in on, passing by some of the same sites in the other direction. And while gliding along, I'll explain a little bit more about the river and history. The river has always played an important role in the economy of Cambridge, going back several thousand years to the Roman days even. During the medieval period, the river was an important trade route, allowing goods such as grain and wool and stone to be transported between Cambridge and inland towns and out to the sea. Because the river was navigable and connected with the Great Ouse River that extends to the North Sea. So goods could be shipped into and out from Cambridge throughout Europe. St. John's is the second biggest college after Trinity. It was founded in 1511. In the old days, the river in central Cambridge functioned something like a harbor because it was a landing place where various goods were unloaded and brought into the city for processing, such as flax, grain, fish, timber, salt, various farm goods, wool, and other materials. And because the river was relatively shallow, they used flat-bottom barges, the forerunner of today's punts, as we glide again under the beautiful Bridge of Sighs. Then we ran into another festive boat of students partying. Maybe they just finished some exams, and yes, I do mean ran into them or they ran into us. It happens now and then with non-professionals, even if they are experienced students. Punting is not just about sightseeing. It's about engaging with Cambridge's storied history and leisurely pace of life, connecting with centuries of tradition, and witnessing architectural masterpieces while soaking in the serene beauty of this iconic university town. The River Cam captures the essence of Cambridge's enduring charm. Now at the final minute, watching some local students enjoying their ride. Another group of skilled local do-it-yourself punters as we arrive at the dock next to Magdalen Bridge where we began the journey. Our boat glides into Quayside, a lovely small plaza with some outdoor seating, restaurants around it, and the boat dock. Scudamore's has done a lovely job for us on this last boat ride of their day with that beautiful golden lighting. Right next to the boat dock, we have one of the finest wine bars in the city, a great place to celebrate that magnificent journey. We frequently upload new movies, so please subscribe to our channel and click that little alarm bell so you'll be notified. And if you enjoyed the movie, how about a thumbs up? And we always welcome comments down below. Or if you have questions about the destination, make note and we'll answer them. Thanks for watching.